Call Football puts you in control of a live pro football game. Call the plays on the field and climb the leaderboard to compete for weekly cash prizes all right from your phone. Prove your genius by picking the plays you want to run while outsmarting the defense and keeping up with our coaches.
I select a bundle of plays based on the situation. It goes to the fans. They pick the play they want. It comes back to me. I shoot into the quarterback. He tells the offense runs the play, hopefully successfully.
Earn points for positive plays, lose points for negative plays. You even get a coach pick bonus when your pick matches theirs. Did the majority not pick what you called? If the play's a bust, you went against the grain, and you'll get a bonus pick for that too. Your Call Football is a game of skill both on and off the field. Compete against your friends in one-on-one, head-to-head matchups, or wager your coin stash against your closest friends and family play callers in the League Challenge. The keys to victory are in your hands. It's all about what you will call in game situations. 3rd and 2 and you're down by a score? Are you going to run, pass, or prove you're a genius with a play-action pass? What do you think the majority will call? What do you think your friends will call? Real football meets fantasy in this high-stakes play-calling competition, with real cash prizes awarded to the players with the top scores and most coins. This is the future of football, ladies and gentlemen. Shorter games, faster pace, and the fans call the shots. The season kicks off with live games streaming tonight. Don't just watch football. No, no, no. Control the action. Find Your Call Football in the Google Play and App Store.
You can't win if you don't play.
So get in the game today.
Download the official Your Call Football app today. One of the best advice that I could give was advice given to me by Brett Favre, and that is get the play in early. You know, let's not have a delay a game. Let's get the play in, trust your instincts, and go with it.
We are back here in historic Dodgertown for game number 2 of Your Call Football between Team Power and Team Grit. This is the last chance to accept leagues. The game is starting. Coin tosses right now, but this was last week. How exciting. A trick play, and it's intercepted. Khalid Wooten takes it back 72 yards and sets up Team Power for a touchdown as they would win the game 20-12. And that brings us to our leaderboard. Last week, Ashley 9G won by just 1 point. She won $5,000 for winning last week's game. And hello there, everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Jabari Greer, Jen Hill with us down on the field. Jabari, last week, our first week of Your Call Football, so much fun. And I think you and I both learned it's a different type of game with the fans at home playing on the app.
Yeah, and even though I've played for 10 years in the NFL, that was one of the most exciting games that I've ever seen in my life. We saw superstars on the field and off the field with Khalid Wooten and Ashley 9G stepping up and making big plays. I'm excited to see what's going to happen this week.
Speaking of Ashley 9G, our leader right now for the overall lead, we spoke with her moments ago about her experience with Your Call Football.
It was cool to see just how, how fan calls can change the game. Like, seriously, at the end of the game, that interception that went back for like 70 yards was the fan call. That was kind of a tricky play that I was definitely against the grain on that, because if I were the coach, I would not have called that risky of a play at that time in the game. At halftime, I was in third place, so I kind of said, okay, I guess I'm going to finish this out and see where I end up. So at halftime is when I decided to truly commit to like trying to win something. Towards the last 5 minutes is when it started getting really stressful for me.
Well, she gets really stressful because this is what's at stake. Over $50,000 over the 3-game series. You pay out at halftime, you pay out for the game, and of course for the overall. Also for the coins, first place to fifth place, $500 down to $100. And right now, let's go down on the field and check in with Jen Hale.
Justin, there is some fantastic talent on the field here tonight, and the NFL has started to take notice. Some players have already been called up. Coach Mike Sherman, give us a little glimpse. Who's been flashing for you this week that play-calling fans should be aware of this evening?
Well, quarterback Humphries has probably had his best week. He finished the second half of last week's game, almost had a chance to win at the end with a throwback to the quarterback, but Power had something to say about that. They intercepted the pass. But he's jumped out at us. Another kid named Mike Miller, an offensive guard, has done a nice job. The offensive line as a group has kind of grown up a little bit. Reuben Carter is also in that group. Mitchell is in that group as well. And so I think the growth of our offensive line over the last couple of weeks, and then the quarterback, Humphries, has done a nice job for us. So I think that blend will help allow us an opportunity to move the ball.
It's going to be interesting. Thank you, Coach. And Coach Merrill Hodge, for Team Power, you've been very complimentary of the plays fans have selected. Tonight, you have a couple of new wrinkles for them, a couple of trick plays they should be aware of.
Yeah, and actually some plays will help them score touchdowns. So if they listen for Harry 1 and Harry 2, call that a lot. And the second they see Harry 3 up there, make sure you call it, because that's going to have touchdown written all over for you.
A little bit of inside scoop.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Coach. Justin, Jabari, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, that's awesome. You heard it. Harry 1, Harry 2. Call those a lot if you're trying to think along the same lines as Coach Merrill Hodge. And if it's Harry 3, he's expecting a touchdown. Well, Team Grit won the toss. They have elected to start. There's no kickoff, so I can't say he elected to receive. They'll start the ball at the 35-yard line. And this Team Grit, led by Mike Sherman, their starting quarterback this week will be Katie Humphries. Katie Humphries has been a difference maker both in the scrimmage and last week. Katie Humphries played his college ball at Murray State. This is one of those things where, Jabari, you and I spoke about it, but you wondered what would be the competitive edge in the games. Well, after last week's game, these teams, they're waiting to go right now.
Yeah, so Katie Humphries is a great mobile quarterback. Be looking to get him outside of those hashes on the run, because once he's on the run, he's a dangerous quarterback with his arm.
On first down, the handoff to Levance Taylor up the middle. And Levance Taylor will pick up 3 yards right there. And that's really what Mike Sherman wants out of the first down runs. He just wants to get 3 or 4 yards, because he says it is difficult to run against this defense.
Yeah, and more in particularly the down safety. He said that they're playing a lot more cover 1 with this down strong safety. When you have 5 guys blocking but 6 defenders in the box, it's hard to run when you're running right to that extra defender.
Second down and 7 coming up here. 12-minute quarters. Guess what, folks? Even better, we only have a 3-minute halftime, so you can't go anywhere. On second down and 7, Humphries forced out of the pocket. He's going to run and dive forward up to the 44-yard line, picks up 6. It'll be 3rd and 1.
And so we see the defense playing cover 3. It was great pressure by Tori Dale. They was playing cover 3. They were looking for the smash concept with the slot in the middle, but it was great coverage outside by Khalid Wooten. He's already starting out to be being a strong cornerback, and look for these DBs playing great technique defense.
So just try to explain to the viewers back at home, the viewers playing on the app, what cover 3 is versus a cover 2.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There you go. Sometimes we assume, but cover 3 is 3 deep defenders. The 2 corners and the safety play deep thirds. They want to make sure that they don't let anybody behind them. So it's not the man-to-man where you have slot cornerbacks and safeties playing their man. They're playing a part of the field. So it is harder, more difficult to get the ball in those holes.
I tell you what, they just tried running a triple option. The tackle made by Torrey Dale against Katie Humphreys. Humphreys kept it. He comes up short of the first down marker.
And even though it was bad, he still see that Katie Humphreys is getting up and had his eyes down the field. I think this guy's going to have a big game. He's primed for a big game. He was the most effective quarterback last week, but he just couldn't get things going.
How about this? Here on the opening drive at 4th and 1, Mike Sherman doesn't give the punt as an option. You can punt if you're shy of the 50-yard line.
Look, Mike Sherman, he's not playing around right now. He sees that they need something going on in the early possession. He has Katie Humphreys. Wouldn't you go for it with Katie Humphreys as your quarterback, Justin?
Honestly, I'd punt right now.
Yeah, I know
Field
you're
position.
conservative. I understand that. You're conservative. This is your call football.
Here is Humphreys, pressured again, throwing, and it's through the hands of Eric Wallace. A turnover on downs right there, so now really good starting field position for Team Power.
That was a great play by Katie Humphreys, bringing in the defensive line, getting around and throwing the ball to Eric Wallace. The only issue is Eric Wallace has to come up with that football. We had this issue last week, people dropping the ball. And anytime that you have such a strenuous situation with 4th and 1, not converting does so much to lessen your spirit as an offensive team. Katie Humphreys, he needs that to be able to create some momentum for his team. Eric Wallace has to be able to come through the next time they get the football.
So starting at quarterback here now for Team Power will be Tommy Armstrong. B.J. Daniels went out last week with a hamstring injury. We're going to see a lot of Tommy Armstrong. We're also going to see a lot of Brian Bennett. They could be in at the same time. Divine Redding in the backfield here on first down. It's kept here by Tommy Armstrong, and Armstrong brings it up to the 40, picks up 4 yards, tackled by A.J. Patai Ali.
And Justin, you addressed the 2 quarterback system. Coach Merrill Hodge said that's going to be his A9 bundle. So anytime you see a halfback throw slot option power, he wants to be able to create some mismatches, some misdirection by having Brian Bennett in the backfield. Because remember last week, they had that reverse pass, but it was KJ May who threw the football. This week, they want to put Brian Bennett in that same situation, and maybe they can capitalize.
2nd down and 6 coming up. The play is in. And the fans have picked a run. Well, Coach Hodge wanted a pass, and the run here is not going to be effective by Divine Redding. It's going to be a loss of 3 on the play. Pierre G. Tucker making the tackle.
Divine Redding on the run.
And that was good defense, but the truth is Evan Rodriguez has to make that block. You got to be more aggressive. Now, he was a guy that we saw the very first scrimmage really have an explosive game, but until then, he's kind of been into relative obscurity. Evan Rodriguez, I'm looking at you, man. I want to see you have a great game today because you have all the ability, but you have to be more aggressive on those blocks.
So now 3rd and 9 here for Team Power. They won last week 20-12. The fans again go against what Coach Hodge wants. Armstrong back to pass, gets hit, connects with Divine Redding. Redding makes a move, and Divine Redding will bring it up to the 38-yard line. He'll pick up 5. Leroy Alexander there to make the stop, and there was some hard hitting right there.
It was a great job keeping your eyes down the field and just throwing it down to Divine Redding. He had great pressure by Quentin Bradley. And the truth is Divine Redding is one of the best playmakers on this entire field in both teams. So why not get the ball down to your great playmaker and let him try to do some things?
Right now, again, they can't punt. They do have an option for a field goal. They've got a kicker in Josh Gable with a big leg. But here on 4th and 4, that wasn't an option given by Merrill Hodge in his bundle. It would be a 56-yard field goal from this distance.
We see the stutter and go. Looks like they're man-to-man technique. I think that Chuck Jacobs in the slot may have A big game.
Armstrong down the sideline. That is overthrown, intended for Jordan Reed. So a turnover on downs here for Team Power.
Listen, that was a great call. Getting behind the defensive back, Will Hines. He just put a little too much on it, Justin. Take a little of that mustard off that ball and let your receiver get under to make a play. He was right there.
A good job defensively by Team Grit to get the ball back. Well, they'll start at their own 38-yard line. You can see how many plays that Mike Sherman has to go through. Merrill Hodge told us he narrowed his bundles down from 38 to 12 for week 2.
Yeah, and when you have a coach like Mike Sherman, he knows that terminology. He knows those thick playbooks, and he wants to have every tool in his toolbox.
Handoff here to Khalid Abdullah. Abdullah trying to get outside, and Abdullah, second effort, gets some extra yards. A 5-yard run there by Khalid Abdullah where it looks like he was going to be stopped.
That was a great play by Bobby Baker, taking on the block, bouncing off the block, and making sure that he gets Abdullah back up. You're going to see Bobby Baker make sure he's going to shoot outside. He came on, took on the block, and actually forced Abdullah to face the second container, which is Matt Wales. That was a great play. Even though you don't see it on the stat sheet, the way that the way that the defensive back forced that thing inside, it was beautiful.
2nd down and 5.
Zone.
Carell Hamilton in motion. Humphreys steps up over the middle. That's off the pads of Aaron Peck. You can't do any better if you're K.D. Humphreys.
Humphreys pass intended
So,
for tight end Aaron
Justin,
Peck.
that was a great coverage by Michael Rose-Ivy, but we've talked about this before, and this was an issue last week. Dropping the football. This does nothing but create problems for your offense. You have a quarterback that's putting it right on the money. He's giving it to you right in the breadbasket, but if you can't catch it, you can't do anything.
He zipped that one in there to K.D. Humphreys to Aaron Peck. Aaron Peck played his college ball at Fresno State. So now 3rd and 5 here for Team Grit. And flags. Do we have offside or a false start? Our referee is Trey Blake out of the ACC. We'll find out.
False start. Offense, number 1. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So Carell Hamilton was the guilty party. Don't forget that play you just called. It was canceled out because of the penalty, so you get to choose again.
All right, fans, here we are.
Now you're 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10. They've already dropped a couple balls. Now they're kind of shaking up. They're jumping off sides.
Who's shaking up? The players or the fans at home making the play call?
The players are shaking up. You see them jumping off sides. They need something to get them going. Maybe some crosses. Let's see what bundle the coach puts out to have for this crucial 3rd and 10.
Hey, Brian.
He wanted an all-go. They're going to go with a slant drag here, as 58% of the fans voted on that. Humphreys. They complete the pass to Jordan Vaden. Khalid Wooten with the tackle.
Pass complete to number 85.
Up to the 44, a 5-yard pickup. 4th and 5 coming up, and let's see if there is a punt option in this bundle.
Not cross the 50. There's a chance that a punt is an option out.
I take
by
punt, and you still get points for that.
Yes, you do. You do get points for a punt.
And it moves automatically 40 yards from where it is.
4th down, you actually lose points in your call football, whereas a punt will give you points.
Let's see what happens. What do the majority do? They're going to punt. Hey, all
There we go.
right,
There
way
we
to
go.
go. 68%. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a good percentage. And it seems like the fans now are understanding the speed and what the strategy entails to really make the most of their opportunity.
8-9, my brother, and go power.
Even the play before 3rd and 10, those slants, they were more conservative than Coach. Coach wanted all goals, but you see the fans, they're being smart, they're taking the yardage, and they're creating opportunities to score those points.
Well, Your Call Football's innovative tech platform was built by Cantina, a leading digital design and development agency. The innovation partner of Your Call Football, Cantina, has created cutting-edge mobile experience for you, the play-calling fans, that make Your Call Football special. You talk about being conservative, not being happy. How about our statistician, Ed Feeder, right here? He's going nuts. He wanted them to go for it.
And now we have that 8-9 bundle with 2 quarterbacks in the backfield. You see Brian Bennett coming out, playing the A position, the slot. What is going to happen? Let's see how they make this happen.
So Bennett now in motion. They hand off to him. And Bennett's going to throw down the sideline. That pass is dropped by Tommy Streeter. Oh, man.
You can't get any better than that. Threw it behind him a bit. Tommy Streeter had to slow down. But this is what he wanted. This is what Merrill Hodge wanted. He wanted that pack. He wanted the quarterback throwing that football. Threw it a little bit behind him. But Tommy Streeter knows he has to make that play.
What I love about what Merrill Hodge is doing with Brian Bennett is that you mentioned it before. Because he's a quarterback, most people, when that play is run, is what we saw the final play offensively for Team Grit last week, where they throw it back towards the quarterback. No, you've got a quarterback who knows how to make decisions.
And they like the athleticism of Brian Bennett. He's playing some receiver. He's playing some running back.
How about Tommy Armstrong right here, taking that low snap, making something out of nothing, and picks up 4.
Heads up play by Tommy Armstrong. And there's nothing scarier for a quarterback to get that snap on the ground and see a good 340-pound defensive tackle coming right at you. That's a way to keep your composure, Tommy.
B.J. Daniels right next to Merrill Hodge. Again, B.J. Daniels was the starting quarterback last week. He went down with a hamstring injury. Then Brian Bennett came in, and on the first play, ran it in from 8 yards out for a touchdown.
So we see play action crosses right here. They have been playing man-to-man technique, which would be a great play for the inside crossers.
Armstrong pressured. Throwing deep down the sideline, jump ball, and this time it's hauled in by Streeter. Tommy Streeter going up over C.J. Roberts for the big completion of 41 yards.
That was a great play. That's what we call getting mossed.
You know what we call that? Redemption.
Redemption. Great pressure. But he got the ball up, and this guy climbed the stairs. And sorry, young man, give me that football. Great play by Tommy Streeter. Now, he is feeling himself now. It was a great way to come back to him after he had dropped the football. Great confidence, great catch, great play.
Tommy Streeter, 6'5", C.J. Roberts, 5'10". That was the first down of the game for either team.
And as a shorter cornerback, it doesn't matter how tall you are. It doesn't matter. You still got to make that play.
Here on first down, it's kept by Armstrong. Makes a move, cuts back inside. Armstrong will pick up a couple yards. Tackled by Will Smith, 2nd down and 8.
Armstrong keeps it, picks up 3 yards.
Just think about how big that play was, though, because that went 41 yards. A punt would go 40 yards. They just completely flipped the field position, maintain it, have some momentum going here as they had the ball on the 37-yard line.
I think more than anything, what it does for Tommy Streeter, he's one of the most talented receivers on your roster. You need him confident. You need him with those big plays, knowing that he has the ability to go up and get it. So I think that it's great for field position. But the personal ability for that player to feel that he is in this game, he is involved, is even bigger.
Kendall Lawrence in the backfield. Armstrong. He just airmailed his intended receiver, Tommy Streeter. You can see the strength of the arm, but that wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't. But He's still going after Streeter. You see that he is getting open. Streeter, I like the way he's playing football now. He's playing that X position. He's out there playing wide. And hey, listen, if I was a fan, I would keep on going to him. This guy's hot. He's red hot.
By the way, I don't know if you just saw, but on the bundle, there was Philly Special. And of course, if you guys remember the Super Bowl, Philly Special was run. Let's see if the fans choose it here. Merrill Hodge is trying to contain the smile. They have chosen Philly Special. That's what he wanted. You've got Bennett in with Armstrong.
And this play works well if they're in man-to-man. Nobody covers the quarterback.
Here's Bennett. Bennett throwing, and that ball is nearly picked off. BT Sanders was there. I tell you what, nobody was biting on Team Grit.
Yeah, so that was a great play by BT Sanders. You see him with the outside. He has man-to-man on the quarterback. Doesn't allow the quarterback to get it to beat him outside. And that is what you call great discipline. And the coach, Chris Dishman, gives them some love. People don't understand, like, Chris Dishman was one of the best cornerbacks growing up. I used to watch him for the Houston Oilers. This guy has transformed the defensive backs on both sides into well-oiled machines. He's a great coach.
Well, this will be a 55-yard field goal attempt. That's what the fans wanted overwhelmingly. I think it was over 70%.
Is it Josh Gable time?
It's Josh Gable, and Josh Gable has got himself a leg. I mean, Merrill Hodge told us he can go 60 yards, no doubt. Here's the one thing. Watching him in pregame warmups, he doesn't get a lot of height on his kicks. So see if that becomes an issue. It's going to be 54 officially.
More than anything, he's a kicker with a do-rag, man. Please make it so we can interview you, Josh Gable, please.
And guess what? It's blocked. Picking it up, Will Smith. Smith at the 40 gets tackled. It was blocked by J.K. Bryant.
That was great penetration by the interior defensive lineman, J.K. Bryant. When they snapped the ball, there were two guys that were already in the backfield. It was incredible. You see J.K. Bryant gets out, gets off, holds his hand, and you talked about the height that Josh Gable had on the lack of height that he had on the ball. Man, that was a great play by J.K. Bryant.
So now it's Team Grit ball at the 41. And again, going back to Josh Gable, part of it is that he's been a soccer player his whole life. He's got a booming leg, but soccer, you don't think about getting that ball elevated right away. In football, as a field goal kicker, that's what you need. The fans, once again, go against what coach is looking for. 1:49 to go, no score here in this opening first quarter of the second ever game for Your Call football. Pressure coming up the middle. It's a handoff here to Levance Taylor. And Taylor will get stood up at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Errol Clark there making the play.
And so this is what Mike Sherman talked about last week. Talked about being able to create some options in the running game. They had a real problem running the football, and he said that the O-line had been gelling more this week. He said what he wants to do is try to run away from that deep safety, maybe call some read options, some outside zone. And we see that they're struggling early on. What are they going to do? What can you do as a fans to get them in position to create some momentum through the running game?
Coming up on 1 minute to go here in this first quarter. Coach Sherman in agreement with the majority. Humphreys throwing over the middle, completes the pass to Daniel Williams, and Williams has a first down as he is up to the 25-yard line. A 16-yard pickup.
And this might be a name that we call a lot tonight. Daniel Williams is a guy that everybody likes. He is an all-time leading rusher for Jackson State University in receptions. He's a guy that's big, that's strong, had bounced around a couple of times from the Raiders, from the Jets. And Coach Sherman said maybe he was one of those guys that got branded as as an NFL player, maybe that they thought that he couldn't grasp the concepts of different offenses. Coach Sherman believes that this guy can play. Maybe if you give him the football, you can see exactly how dynamic a receiver Daniel Williams is.
3 seconds till they get the play off before the quarter ends. They say they do. Pressure. Humphreys escape, has some blockers, and Humphreys able to pick up 2 yards. Tackled by Aaron Taylor. Well, there's no score here at the end of the first quarter, but that's because of a blocked field goal. An attempt by Josh Gable. Jaquez Bryant got through and blocked it for Team Grit.
A great play caller is somebody who has a good feel for the personnel that he has. He puts them in good positions, but he also knows the flow of a game and how things are working out. So to be able to adjust during a game and be able to call plays to take advantage of what's going on in the game makes a great play caller.
At least 400. I'm sure there's about, 100,000 people.
And I'm in second place out of our group.
Better than they are? Not as well as I'd like. I'm in 31st right now, out of like a million.
Your Call Football has made it easy to follow along with the game as you call the plays. In addition to watching the live stream directly in the Your Call Football app, you can stream the game at yourcallfootball.com, the Your Call Football YouTube channel, or at barstoolsports.com. And while we have the time, let's check in with Jen Hale.
Thanks, Justin. Here with Jaquez Bryant. Walk me through how y'all got your hands on that punt and blocked that field goal and blocked that one.
We didn't want them to score, so we said, get down, go block the ball, stay disciplined. We can't let them score. We cannot lose again.
You are locked in, looking for a victory tonight for Team Grit.
Yes, ma'am. Can't lose this time. Can't lose.
What would you like to have fans call for this team tonight? What's the mood? How are y'all feeling?
Run the ball and then throw, to give it a little mixture, do a little something different from last week's because we won't lose.
Wise words. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Justin.
All right, you heard it. They don't want to lose again. Just to check the leaderboard, it's Big Fridge 9 right now with the lead at the end of the first quarter. As we start the second quarter, you can check the leaderboard on the app just like we can. Again, it's $1,000 if you win the first half. It's $5,000 for the overall game. And if you're not winning at halftime, don't go anywhere because there is still the series overall winner, which pays out $10,000, $5,000 for second, $2,500 for third place. So you want to make sure you accumulate as many points as you can. Second down and 8. Humphreys. Over the middle, complete to Bernard Pierce. A pickup of 3.
Humphreys
third and 5 coming up.
To running back Bernard Pierce. Pickup of 5 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5. We're at the 20-yard line.
And Justin, I tell you what, man, I love some of these usernames. Big Fridge 9. I mean, you know what, man?
What would your name be?
You know what? The Jet. 90210. No, well.
Really? Really?
The Jet. I did like Beverly Hills 90210 growing up. I did. It's my guilty pleasure.
Both coaches looking on. 3rd and 5. Bernard Pierce in the backfield. Humphreys. Incomplete, was looking for Daniel Williams. Maybe a misread on the route because Humphreys was coming in and, Williams was coming in and Katie Humphreys went for a pass towards the sideline.
Yeah, either Humphreys or Williams was on the wrong page right there. You can't have that.
Still had the
well, this field goal attempt would be 37 yards if they go for it. And frankly, I think they will, because I think they want points on the board to have a lead. That's me. Jay Maddox did miss a field goal last week. But they have brought Maddox on. And this 54% of the fans wanted a field goal. So did Mike Sherman. So you could get bonus points if this works. Gerard Johnson is the holder.
For the Team Grit field goal.
Aaron Cox, the snapper. 37-yard field goal attempt here for Jay Maddox to put Team Grit on the board here in the second quarter. And this is a low kick, and that is no good. So all of a sudden, this may influence the fans' decisions going forward.
Of course it is. The fans have respectfully been conservative. They went with the coach's pick 38% of the time, and that was one that they did as well. But this is given a bad name for the kicking game at all. When you have two, one block, one looking like a wet duck. What do you do? What do you do? As a fan, you got to go for it. You got to go for it, because I think these kickers are what we call a little shook. A little shook up.
Well, send us your comments on Twitter using hashtag YourCallFootball, hashtag YCF, or hashtag CallThePlays. We've got one, the greatest innovation of football since the forward pass. Thanks, Todd.
Oh, good.
Is that Todd Nye, Todd New Year's Eve? I'm not quite sure, but we appreciate that.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Brian Bennett is in at quarterback here. 1st and 10 from the 27 for Team Power. Both teams looking for some consistent offense so far. It hasn't happened. On 1st down, it's kept here by Bennett. A good read by him as Bennett races out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Gets the 1st down, picks up 12.
That was a great play by Brian Bennett. We know that he's a mobile quarterback. He wants to be able to get comfortable in the pocket. Beats the cornerback outside. Leroy Alexander got beat by quarterback outside. You know, that's one thing as a defensive back that you will be teased about in the meeting tomorrow. But Brian Bennett is a different type of quarterback. You're talking about a guy with a Mariota-esque attitude and mentality.
He was a backup to Marcus Mariota at Oregon. And the fans, they go against Merrill Hodges' pick here on 1st and 10 from the 39. Bennett, pass towards the sideline, that is complete. Ryan Timmons, he loses the ball as he's out of bounds, but that's okay. It's a completion up to the 38-yard line, a 23-yard completion, so a nice job by the fans making the call.
That was an impressive throw by Brian Bennett, anticipating the route, threw it right on the money. Inside, gave the quarterback a great opportunity to gave the receiver a great opportunity to get up the field. It was a missed tackle by Kenya Dennis, something that we haven't seen from these defensive backs. They've been great tacklers, and what he has to do is make sure that he secures the football.
That's also back-to-back 1st downs for Team Power. We have not seen back-to-back 1st downs yet in this game. We've got a timeout.
The ruling on the field is the 1st down. The previous play is under review.
They're going to review this play.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was out of bounds with the possession before fumbling the ball. 1st down.
That's what we thought. A 23-yard completion for Ryan Timmons.
And fans that vote with the majority of these last two plays love the points that they've accumulated.
Bennett forced out of the pocket. Bennett running towards the stick. Jamari Ford applying the pressure as Bennett gets back to the line of scrimmage. Let's go back to that review to see where the fumble occurs. So he has the pass here. He has the completion. Okay. And now he's going to fumble the ball. But you can see he's out of bounds. And even if he weren't out of bounds, it still would have stayed Team Power ball. Am I wrong on that? So I don't know what the review is for.
No, that looked like they were good. That looked like it was their ball. But more than anything, you see Brian Bennett getting comfortable. Merrill Hodge talked about his footwork. His footwork was something that was really big during the scrimmage and the first game, but now he's getting comfortable. He's a quarterback that likes to move in the pocket.
Bennett again, this time goes to Tommy Streeter, completes that pass. Kenya Dennis there on the coverage, but it's a completion of 11, another first down. And you know what? Brian Bennett is making a difference here at the quarterback position.
He is. Look, you see his feet are set. He had a great base. He could have got a little bit more on that ball, but Tommy Streeter is already having a good game. This guy is one of the best athletes on the entire field. He lines up in different positions. Brian Bennett can play receiver, can play running back. Merrill Hodge loves his athletic ability. I saw him even before the game, Justin. I saw him backpedaling as a defensive back. I thought that was sacrilegious. But look, this guy can play football. Now, I like what he's doing as a quarterback. I like the plays that the fans are calling, getting him comfortable, and he is being a difference maker today.
3 first downs on this drive for Team Power. Empty backfield for Bennett. Pump fake. Bennett dumps it off to JoJo Kemp, makes a move to avoid one tackle, able to spin forward as he is down to the 19-yard line, and he gets 8 yards.
He got a good morning hit by Zach Edwards at first. Listen, Zach Edwards, you had your time right there. That could have been a highlight type hit, but you have to be able to wrap up. JoJo Kemp is one of those guys who is hard to tackle. There are some guys who you just cannot get square up. You call them like sideline, side edge guys that every time you hit them, it seems like either they bounce off or you just get a small percentage of them. JoJo Kemp is one of those guys.
2nd down and 2 now from the 19. I would think the playbook is wide open.
You see B.J. Daniels right there. He got injured last week, but man, that beard is on point.
2nd down and 2. It's handoff to Kemp. Kemp has the first down. They try to strip the football. He holds on. Pierre G. Tucker with a tackle. Another first down.
So you see Merrill Hodge right here going with a hot hand. It's JoJo Kemp. He's getting adjusted. He's getting lathered. You know, last week it was Divine Redding, but now it just shows you that they have a stable of running backs that can create opportunities for the fans out there.
So this is what's happening on this drive. Not just is Power moving the ball extremely well, but the leaderboard, remember $1,000 is at stake here for this first half. The leaderboard, Big Fridge 9 leads with 81.1 points. The majority and coach agree. Timothy H. in second at 79.8. It's a handoff again to Kemp. And Kemp gets wrapped up by Zach Edwards. Gets 3 yards on the play.
So one thing that we've seen right here, Justin, towards the red zone, these defenses are playing more man-to-man coverages. So as a play caller, you want to make sure that you try to get things to the outside because those guys on the outside are playing man-to-man. If you get your receiver in a man-to-man situation, some of these good receivers, Tommy Streeter, Chuck Jacobs, they can beat that man-to-man coverage.
2nd down and 7 coming up. Coming up on 5 minutes to go. Majority goes for a quarterback draw. Here's Bennett up the middle. Bennett
Let's go!
Gets into the end zone for the touchdown. The majority makes a good play.
And that was because they were in man-to-man coverage. So listen, that was a great job by the fans picking this great quarterback draw. Listen, the middle of the defense parted like the Red Sea, brother. It was one of those things that everybody was in man-to-man. It opened up. Brian Bennett didn't have to do anything but skip in there. This guy made it best out of what the fans called. Great call by the fans.
And remember, there are no extra points, only 2-point conversions. A 9-yard touchdown run there by Brian Bennett. Had an 8-yard touchdown run last week in the first game. That drive, 8 plays, 73 yards. And Bennett in the backfield here as the majority again goes against Merrill Hodge. JoJo Kemp in the backfield. for the two-point conversion. And they got it. A completion to Evan Rodriguez. 8-0, Power leading. Less than 5 to go here in the first half. Brian Bennett, a difference maker here on this drive. 3 for 3, 42 yards, 3 runs for 21 and a touchdown. Eight 8-0, Power leading over Team Grit, and let's go down to Jen Hale.
Thanks, Justin. Here with Brian Bennett. He's catching his breath just for a moment after finally getting a score out of this game. Brian, you were facing mankind that you could exploit in the end zone there.
We just had guys running great routes, our line's protecting, and we're pitching and catching finally. You know, we had a little trouble with that early on. We spent a lot of time on getting timing down with our receivers this week. We practiced really well, and it showed out there.
Do you feel like the team's settling in now a little to this game in particular tonight?
I think so. I think, you know, this group's been together. You know, this is our third week really kind of together after the scrimmage in the first game. So whenever you get that, you know, you start to get that bond, and we're starting to play together.
Well, congratulations. We look forward to the rest of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Justin.
By the way, how cool is that? I mean, Brian Bennett just got off the field, and he is giving an interview to Jen Hale. You don't get that anywhere else.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, as a fan, as a player, you always want to be able to immediately give gratitude to the people that surround you. Anytime, even though it's a team sport, anytime you can get a little FaceTime, it's always good for your confidence going into the next series.
Well, he deserved the FaceTime. 63 total yards on that drive, including the touchdown run and the two-point pass for the conversion. 8-0, Power leading Grit. 4:57 to go here in this first half. Again, $1,000 for the winner. $500 for second place, $250 for third for the first half. Katie Humphreys on first down over the middle, completes the pass to his tight end, Aaron Peck. Peck had a drop ball earlier. This is down at a 41.
And this is interesting. Mike Sherman's going with this bunch concept with 3 receivers bunched together. That is what you call that. You do that because the defense is playing man-to-man, and you want some man beaters. You want to make sure that you try to get the defense off their center. So that bunch concept, if you continue to do that, it could be great as a man beater.
I don't know about you, but I feel like here now in this second game of your call football that the coaches are getting their plays in even quicker.
It seems that way, you know, because this is a fast-paced game.
And only a 3-minute halftime.
That's it. So you have to be able to get your calls in because you have to be able to get your team, your players, the time to adjust and get to the line.
Second down and 3. Handoff to Abdullah, who gets smashed in the backfield. Willie Mays.
We're going to be calling this.
He runs like Mays, and he doesn't hit like Hayes.
Listen, he is one of the most dynamic defensive linemen. He has been getting pressure all day, every single game. Willie Mays, when coaches talk about who creates a difference on the defensive line, every coach usually comes back to Willie Mays.
Played Division II at Tiffin University out of Escondido, California. Now 3rd and 5 here for Team Grit. That was a hit. And the fans agree with Coach here. Double outs, 54% of the fans voted for that. Humphreys. And he completes the pass, but we got a flag thrown. Sebastian Smith makes the play. CJ Moore there on the stop, but let's wait to find out what the flag is for. Is this going to be offensive pass interference? The officials getting together.
Personal foul, illegal contact, defense, number 42. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is first down.
That was against Errol Clark, so the penalty is declined. And they're going to spot the ball now as they're moving the chains. It was a 9-yard pickup for the first down. They're going to put it at the 49-yard line of Team Grit. .231 to go, 8-0 Team Power leading.
Coach is presenting these outside runs. Now, he told us before they've been playing down safety defense, meaning the strong safety has been playing in the box, having one more defender than they have blocking. So he wants to run the ball. He wants to get it outside and stay away from that down safety.
Majority and coach agree. On 1st and 10. Pass is complete to Jordan Vaden. And Vaden, they're going to mark him out at the 44-yard line, picks up 7.
Great, though. It seems as if these possession plays have been very well for both of these quarterbacks. These hitches, these curls, getting their players comfortable, but also getting their quarterbacks in the rhythm.
Second and 3. The leaderboard is so much fun to watch. Big Fridge 9 right now with not even a 2-point lead as we're coming down under a minute and a half to go. A difference of $500 at stake. Humphreys is 6 for 9 for 47 yards. And the handoff here to Bernard Pierce, and Pierce is brought down for a loss. Boomer Mays makes the play. We've got Willie Mays making one play, Boomer Mays making another, and this is a loss of 5, and that could be big on the leaderboard.
Oh, it's great penetration in the middle, but this is what you just call swarming defense. Boomer Mays doesn't give up. Willie Mays is on the back end. The defensive line is 3 yards in the backfield by the time he gets the football. This is nothing that you as a fan cannot call anything that prevents bad run blocking. The offensive line has to be able to firm up and give their running back an opportunity.
Because of that play, there's been a change at the top of the leaderboard. 2 timeouts remaining here for Team Grit. Humphreys dumps it off, Jordan Vaden, and Vaden gets forced out of bounds by Travis Lee. A 6-yard pickup. 4th and 2 coming up. That clock is down to 12 seconds. You got to think they'll use one of these timeouts. Well, you don't really need to now with the ball being out of bounds, but.
So you potentially have 2 more plays right here. Get the ball down, shoot. Get the clock down to about 5 seconds. You have an opportunity to shoot.
It's 4th down and 2.
4th down. Oh,
yep.
Right. So this is the only play that you have if you don't convert it.
The leaderboard, Big Fridge 9 just overtook Ryan T. He's got about, less than a 1-point lead going into this play.
And fans and coach alike, they go for the stuttering go.
Humphreys. Down the sideline. That one is knocked down. Good defensive play by Travis Lee, who is slow to get up, but that'll be a turnover on downs. Jordan Vaden, the intended receiver.
That was a great play by Travis Lee. Didn't bite on the double move, goes up and gets the football, knocks it down. You want to make sure that you try to pin that receiver to the sideline. But that was a great job by Travis.
But look at this now. With that play, Ryan T has moved into first place. UConn 9904 in second. Big Fridge 9 has dropped all the way down to 4th place with 5 seconds to go here in the half.
That is tough because we're talking about money now.
Oh yeah, big money.
This is big money, and that is how fast it can happen. York football, this is one thing that attracted me to it. Remember when we played our demo, and I was leading the entire time up until the fourth quarter, the last play we were playing with the broadcast and management team, and I lost on the last play. You never know what's going to happen when you play in your call football. That is what makes this league and this game so exciting.
Final play of the half. Bennett steps up, throws, completes the pass to the new tight end, Wes Sexton, gets a block. Sexton down the sideline, and he's knocked out as time expires, but that's going to change the leaderboard. On the final play of the half, Jaquez Bryant, who had the block field goal before, this one goes for 52 yards. And I can't wait to check the leaderboard here.
They were in man-to-man coverage. Great job up the seam by Wes Sexton. Look, he's been a guy that they've raved about. His speed, his vision, his way to get open. It was a great job by Jaquez Bryant, but the way that he got open, Wes Sexton, he just made somebody a happy man. Who is it? Who is it, Justin?
It's Ryan T. But right now, let's go down to Jen Hale, who's got a guest.
Thanks, Justin. We were talking about how amazing so many of these players are, and Eric Wallace with Team Grit is certainly one of those. He has played 3 sports in his career across the globe. An Ohio State product. You started out playing basketball, DePaul, and Ohio State. You played across the world in Australia. Aussie rules football, and then for the Carolina Panthers. How did these other sports prepare you for football in America?
Well, basketball, that really helped me going overseas. They wanted some guys that were good with 360 awareness, taller, agile guys, and they really wanted to replicate some of the LeBron James type American athletes that we produce on a regular basis. So that helped me out going to Australia, and then Australia really helped me learn to really take care of my body. The amount of running we did in that sport, it's such a unique sport, and those guys are some of the best athletes I've ever seen. So, you know, being able to take what I got from over there and bring it back to learn to really take care of my body as I run and recover. So, and then, you know, coming back here and playing for the Carolina Panthers, being from North Carolina, that was the dream come true when I put that jersey on.
I bet so. Now, looking at these pictures of you playing Aussie rules football, there are no pads. That must have taught you to be tough.
Yeah, those are, like I said, those are some tremendous athletes over there in Australia. Shout out to North Melbourne Kangaroos. They gave me 3 wonderful years in Melbourne. And, you know, you learn to be tough. You know, you really got to learn to play the game the right way. That's how you protect yourself, and that's how you really you play effectively in the game. So it's an overlap. You know, you can bring it over here, and, you know, you learn how to play the game the right way and protect yourself and play, you know, and play safe.
Eric, best of luck in the second half, and we'll be watching to see you do something big.
Thank you.
Justin Jabari, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, well, at the half, it's 8-0 Team Power over Team Grit, but the leaderboard came down to the final play. We'll show you that when we come back.
Yeah, one of my favorite plays in the playbook. You always have to have something ready for critical times in the ball game. So this would be one of the plays that I would execute. And we start off in a trips formation. That's a 3-by-1 formation. Quarterback is in the shotgun. Halfback is in the pistol. So what happens here is the quarterback calls the play in the huddle. They get up the line of scrimmage, and he starts coming up the line of scrimmage, and he comes over to the left, and he starts making signals and calls to the guys on the left side. Then he comes over to the right side, and at that point, he says, now the ball is snapped directly to the back. Well, at that time, the A receiver comes around this way, the back comes this way, and lo and behold, over here, the quarterback, he clears out right here. The quarterback is in the flat, and the ball's thrown to him. As we all know, in man-to-man coverage, no one's covering the quarterback. Since he's not under center, he's an eligible receiver. It's called, y'all call it special, but you could call it the Philly special, because that's the play they won the Super Bowl on.
Back here in historic Dodgertown, 8-0 Team Power leading Team Grit. Team Power trying to go to 2-0. Justin Kutcher alongside Jabari Greer here up in the booth. And Jabari, what an exciting first half. Just 8-0 is the score, but we had a blocked field goal. We had a 54-yard play at the end to change the leaderboard. And we also had some great play calls by the fans at home and maybe some not-so-great plays as well.
Yeah, Justin, we've had some extreme excitement here. People climbing up the leaderboard, some great redemptive plays. We see Tommy Streeter drop the football and then come back and make an incredible play. Jordan Vaden and Daniel Williams. These guys, the receivers, are making big plays for their offense right now. I think that once we start to see things going, it's becoming a much more balanced and exciting game.
All right, what was your favorite call that the fans made in the first half?
The favorite call was to go back to Tommy Streeter. We know that he dropped the football, and it was a great call to get the ball in that A9 bundle to Bennett, and right there at that opportunity to make something happen. He knew that he let his team down, but the fans didn't give up on the young man, came right back to him. Deep ball, Tommy Armstrong, been driven out the pocket, throws the ball up, and who climbs the stairs? Nobody better than Tommy Streeter. Great job by the fans, because I'm a player, and I understand is that you want to get in there and make plays, and great call by the fans getting them in.
Yeah, and the fans want to know about this. This is all pending verification, but the first half, Ryan T moved in the first place for $1,000 with 110.9. You see B Tops 41 and Big Fridge 9 tied for second place, so they will split $750. That is how it works. And you know what? If you didn't win money in that first half, don't go anywhere, because the overall game is worth $5,000. That's the first place prize. You got $2,500 for second, $1,000 for third, and oh, by the way, you still have to get points, because after our third game, the overall series winner will take home $10,000. That's right. This is what is at stake. Over $50,000 is up for grabs in the three-game series. The overall winner will get $10,000. Second place is $5,000. Third place, $2,500. You can win money with coins. Each game you pay out first place through fifth place, $500 all the way down to $100. You got a chance to still win some money.
And Justin, listen, that's rent money right there, brother.
Where are you living?
Oh, that's more than rent money. Oh my goodness, that is big money.
Hey, it's a collector right now. It's a collector. You feel me? Got a count.
All right, so here it'll be Team Power with the ball to start here in the third quarter. And Brian Bennett, who was such a difference maker in that second quarter, I expect to see a lot more of him.
We see in that bundle right there that Merrill Hodge called that Harry won that hitch curl. He said he wanted to do it so he can establish and he didn't even pick it himself. Come on, coach. Got me looking crazy up here.
On first down, the handoff to Redding. Divine Redding cuts it back. Good run. Here's Divine Redding. Still on his feet down the sideline. Divine Redding opens up the third quarter with a big, big play. Finally chased out by DJ Cameron. But Divine Redding, a name that many people are familiar with, played his college ball at Indiana, just picks up 27 yards.
Listen, it was a great run. They had one more in the box than the offensive line could protect. But it doesn't matter when you have a running back that can make people miss the way that Divine Redding can. Last series, it was JoJo Kemp last time that they were on the field. But now Divine Redding is getting his wheels going. This is the kind of player that we're expecting to see. This is the kind of play that we're expecting to see Divine Redding make every single time.
Divine Redding is a guy who Merrill Hodge thinks he's almost been miscasted by scouts. He really believes he's an NFL-type back. On first down, Bennett drops it off near side for Wes Saxton. It was Saxton who made that play to end the first half. DJ Cameron again forcing him out. And Saxton will get 7 yards here on first down.
And that was a great play, but I want to talk a little bit more about Divine Redding. He comes from Glenville High School. Now, I played with a couple of guys from Glenville High School. Dante Whitner, Cardell Jones. They put some, Ted Ginn Jr., they put some guys in the NFL from Glenville High School.
Ted Ginn Sr. is the coach.
Ted Ginn Sr. is the coach. Yeah, so talking about the way that they play ball up in Glenville, it is no surprise that Divine Redding is in that running of the next stage of great players coming out of Glenville.
Second down and 3 here for Team Power. The toss of Redding. Redding gets wrapped up in the backfield by R.J. Allen.
Pitches to Divine Redding.
Played his college ball at South Alabama. It's going to be a loss of 5 on the play. So 3rd and 8 is now coming up.
Great play by Allen, shooting the hole, staying outside. making sure that he is not letting Devon Redding, he's not letting Devon Redding get out of that tackle.
I don't know yet.
Great play by RJ to make that play.
3rd and 8. Do the fans agree with what Coach Merrill Hodge wants?
Ready for that.
They do. 39% do. Empty backfield here for Bennett. Bennett steps up in the pocket, releases the ball down the field towards the end zone, incomplete. The pass was intended for one of his running backs, JoJo Kemp, and there on the coverage was BT Sanders.
And I'm sure Brian Bennett wanted that. He wanted that throwback. It was cover 3. They had a deep safety, but Dan Smith was wide open in the middle. They had a great opportunity to make that play. Brian Bennett keeps his eyes downfield. He knew he wanted to go to the receiver, and it missed a wide open throw to Dan Smith.
4th down, 4th and 8. A field goal is an option. And that is what the majority go with. Now, shockingly, Merrill Hodge didn't want that. This will be a 53-yard field goal. Josh Gable had a 54-yarder blocked earlier. Again, we talked about him having difficulty getting that ball up quickly. And especially on these longer kicks is when you really have to get it up quickly. Holding is B.J. Daniels. He has that hamstring injury, but he could certainly hold. To make it 11-0. Again, it's blocked. Picked up by DJ Cameron. And Cameron on the return. Down the sideline. Here comes Cameron. Cameron racing down, gets shoved out of bounds by Evan Rodriguez.
And I initially thought that this would be about as good as a punt when DJ Cameron caught it on their 35, their 20-yard line.
RJ Allen is the one who blocked the field goal. Second blocked field goal of the game, a 60-yard return by DJ Cameron, and Evan Rodriguez makes a touchdown-saving play. And there is a flag on the field.
During the return, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team, number 75. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So that's against Toby Jackson. And instead of a 60-yard return, think about the difference in the starting field position right now. That is a huge, huge play by Toby Jackson. You now start at the 16-yard line of power. Excuse me, of grit, instead of the 20-yard line for power.
Yes, so this was something, it's a mental lapse. You need to have the composure because, look, things are going to happen. But penalties before and after the snap are totally preventable. You put your team in a bad situation. There's nothing that the fans can call to put your team in a good situation when you have those mental or those emotional lapses.
Well, now Gerard Johnson is in at quarterback here for Team Grit. His team trailing 8-0. Johnson on 1st down will hand off to Abdullah. And Abdullah will get a couple yards, and let's go down to Jen Hale.
Justin, DJ Cameron might have provided the spark that Team Grit needed in this second half to really get going. A heads-up play and a great return that gave your team excellent field position. Walk me through what you saw.
We got a punt. We got to block the first field goal. So I just told the guys, go out there and get another block. And I'll get it up, I'll scoop it and try to score. So it happened. I tried to get down there. Unfortunately, got a flag, so they took it back, but it was still worth the return.
Thank you so much. We look forward to the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Justin.
Jen, maybe give him some oxygen, too. He's a bit tired after that return.
Struggling out there, huh? That was a good return.
Johnson. Incomplete, looking for Robert Meacham. That ball sailed on him. So now 3rd and 8 coming up deep in their own territory. I think it's safe to say if they don't convert here on 3rd down, we'll see a punt.
And we see the two different playing styles between Katie Humphreys and Gerard Johnson. Gerard is definitely a pocket quarterback with a big arm, and Katie Humphreys is a quarterback that likes to get outside those hashes and create things with his leg. Gerard Johnson, get him comfortable in the pocket, let him stand back there and deliver the shots across the field, down the seams, and he can make something happen for your team.
Gerard Johnson did sprain his ankle this week in practice, so slow down just a bit. Here on 3rd and 8, pressure coming, and he gets sacked, and he's able to pick up the ball. Sacked by Torrey Dale, who's made a couple of plays in the backfield. That's a loss of 5.
But you look at that pressure by Willie Mays. This guy is creating something every time. He's getting up. He's the reason why Gerard Johnson gets up the field. Willie Mays is creating havoc every time he puts his hand in the dirt.
On a bundle like this, if you're Mike Sherman, can you go punt, punt, punt?
You should. I would. I definitely would, the way my offense is playing.
83% vote punt. Again, I have to ask, what is the other 17% thinking at this point?
You know, they're probably so far out of leaderboard, they're trying to create as many points as they can.
It's 8-0 Power with the ball as they'll move the ball 40 yards. Power leads 8-0 here in the 3rd quarter. They'll take over at their own 47. Your Call Football's live stream is delivered to you just as it is happening here at our football studio in Vero Beach, Florida, through the technology of our streaming partner, Phoenix. Phoenix delivers the world's only scalable real-time video streaming platform, and it is this platform that makes the Your Call football viewing experience the first of its kind. This is what we look like from our backs. We've been working out. Knowing that this camera shot's right here. Hello. 7:22 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Justin Kutcher alongside Jabari Greer. Jen Hale on the sideline. Ed Sfida doing stats up here in the booth. Bill Garrity as our spotter. And Power taking over, leading 8-0, but a couple of their field goals have been blocked. And again, you got to go back to that personal foul being so big against Team Grit and against Toby Jackson. On 1st down, it's kept here by Bennett, and Bennett with another good run as he gets a 1st down and picks up 12 yards. Zach Edwards with a tackle.
That was a great play, great decision by Bennett. They know that Devon Redden has been a threat, and as soon as he faked the handoff to Devon Redden, he already attracted 2 or 3 defenders to be able to pull that down in a split second and then get the 1st down. This is what you want from your quarterback.
Bennett goes to pick up his towel. This game offensively has been totally different since Brian Bennett came in to run the quarterback position. And Merrill Hodge told us this week in practice there was a competition between Armstrong and Bennett. Neither one really separated themselves. Well, in this game, Bennett has. The throw near sideline to Streeter, and Streeter gets wrapped up by Kenya Dennis, picks up 7.
And the most impressive thing that Brian Bennett has done to separate himself is to be accurate in the pocket. You know, we know that he is mobile, that he can run the football, but we were wondering whether he could stay in the pocket and deliver those throws down the field. We see the last couple throws, he's had some zip, he's had his feet set, and he looks like a real solid, consistent quarterback.
Tommy Streeter now 3 catches for 59 yards. Brian Bennett is 6 of 9 for 108 yards. He also has a rushing touchdown. A handoff here to Divine Redding. Redding still on his feet as they try to strip the ball. And the whistle is finally blown as it looks like he's going to pick up maybe a couple yards.
You got to love running backs like that who look like they'll get tackled for no gain or a loss, but somehow
God, we
get 1 or 2 yards
out
of nothing. Devon Redding's a special running back.
Say it again.
3rd and 1 coming up.
The way we're blocking on a field goal.
Notice all 3 plays are runs here by Merrill Hodge.
Do you think that was a mistake?
No.
No, not one bit.
I think Mike Sherman, if he could have, would have had, like I said before, 3 punts as his option. Punt left, punt right, punt center.
But the thing is like if you had Devon Redding in your backfield, I believe I would do the same thing.
The majority goes against Merrill Hodge here on 3rd and 1.
Man-to-man technique.
It is
Great
Redding.
ball.
Redding has the first down and much, much more. As Redding gets forced out of bounds after picking up that first down with a 14-yard run. Will Hines forces him out.
So the great thing about this, you had a down safety, number 37, B.T. Sanders, that dropped down the other way and gave Devon Redding the open lane. What's so great about this play, it was great block by Nagalu Fusamoli. He was made an opportunity to create something for Devon Redding. Devon Redding is feeling himself right now. He's a great running back. He's taking a breather right now, but as soon as he gets back in the game, make sure you run with that hot hand.
5 carries, 35 yards for Devon Redding. As he goes out, JoJo Kemp comes in. The fans want a pass of double outs. From the 18-yard line, red zone opportunity here for Power. Bennett stepping up. Now Bennett's going to run with it. And he's going to run out of bounds as Brian Bennett scampers for 3 yards.
2 yards. The 2nd and 8.
That was great pressure by the defensive end. Brian Bennett steps up, creates something out of nothing. He's playing so much more confident than he did during the scrimmage and the first game. He's being impressive in the pocket and taking what the defense is giving him. Now, one name we haven't heard today was Chuck Jacobs. Chuck Jacobs is a dynamic receiver that I'm surprised hasn't got involved with the game yet. Merrill Hodge said he wished Chuck Jacobs would be the MVP of this game because he worked so hard this week to come back from a week where he did not have a great position last week.
On 2nd and 7, Bennett rolling out of the pocket, on the run, throws, and it's dropped by JoJo Kemp. 3rd and 7 coming up.
And this was the issue last week and the week before. Drops, no matter who it's coming from, receivers, running backs. When you have a quarterback that's playing and an offensive line that's holding up, you got to be able to either convert or catch those balls.
By the way, that was pretty low of our DJ in-house. He's playing a Justin Timberlake song, and one of the first words to come out of that song was drops.
Yeah, from the Trolls. My kids love that movie. You're right.
3rd and 7. The fans agree here with the coach on the quarterback draw. Bennett running for that first down, and Brian Bennett, he's very close. He's got it. Second time they've called for the quarterback draw. Usually you see a draw up the middle. Bennett realized he had nothing up the middle.
And a great job to bounce it back. See, this is the athletic ability of Brian Bennett. That calls for up the middle. He sees nothing. He takes it outside and beats the defensive end to the edge. As a quarterback, to have this type of ability, to have the ability to beat some of these defensive ends, is special. And I think that it just shows you how much they trust Brian Bennett. The fans trust Brian Bennett to make things happen, to score you points. I think that he really appreciates you putting him in a position to make points for you.
Just getting this text from Jen on the sideline that Zach Edwards of Team Grit. He is number 27. He's on the sidelines right now in pain with his right lower leg. But we've got 1st and goal from the 7 right now. Bennett, low throw, it's incomplete, looking for Evan Rodriguez. 2nd and goal from the 7 coming up. Zach Edwards has a couple of tackles for Team Grit.
Yeah, and he's a leader back there in that secondary from that free safety position. This is a hit that they take in the secondary. Because when you lose people, you don't just lose their productivity. There's something that they bring to the huddle when you have a player like either a BT Sanders or Edwards or Will Hines. The way that they rally the troops, they bring a type of a spirit in the huddle. And when that's gone, you feel a void. So let's see who fills the void for Zach Edwards while he's hurt.
On 2nd and goal from the 7. Bennett, he's going to keep it. He's got a block, and Bennett's got a 2nd touchdown. Evan Rodriguez with the block that frees up Bennett and gives Power the 14-0 lead.
And did you see the way Brian Bennett set up that block? He waited for it, didn't want to commit too early, waited till Evan Rodriguez got to outside, and watch. He wants to set it up. He doesn't want to go inside, waits for Evan Rodriguez to get outside and attacks the outside shoulder. That was a great patient run. This guy looks like a running back out there that can sling that football. Great run. And get ready for your interview.
2-point conversion coming up once again, trying to make it 16-0 with 1:27 to go here in this 3rd quarter. You heard how much Team Grit doesn't want to drop this game. Well, right now, Team Power, they're in control. Empty backfield here as the fans want another quarterback draw. They get it, and this time stuffed is Brian Bennett. Sometimes you go to the well a bit too much.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was into that one. That was great. That was great pressure by the defensive tackle, and Brian Bennett was like, you know what, man, I just want to go to the sideline, give me something to drink. Aaron
Odoye is the one who made the tackle. And I think Brian Bennett was like, guys, just, I need a breather. Let me just go down. We're leading 14-0. We'll give him a second to catch his breath before we go for another interview with him.
Oh, he's getting ready. You see him fixing his hair. This guy, yeah, he's fine. He's ready to go.
He's actually sitting there going, Jen, where are you? What's going on? Come on. Gerard Johnson back in at quarterback here for Team Grit. 14-0. Again, no kickoffs here in your call football. You start at the 35-yard line. 1:27 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Empty backfield here on 1st down for Johnson. Johnson forced out of the pocket. Now throws back across the field. Such a dangerous ball. Looking for Levance Taylor. And that almost is better that it's incomplete.
And one thing we haven't talked about is the secondary for the Power. They were the stars of the game last week. They had 3 interceptions between their whole secondary. With leading the charge, Gerard Borkins, Matthew Wells, Bobby Baker. They have some extreme playmakers back in the secondary. So it is tough for Gerard Johnson to throw the ball downfield. What they need to do is establish some quick throws. They're playing man-to-man, some quick throws, some outs, some hitches, something to get him into rhythm before you try anything down the field.
Well, Mike Sherman and the fans agree on this call. 2nd down and 10. Johnson throwing to the sideline, completes the pass to Jordan Vaden. That's an 8-yard completion, and let's go down to Jen, who I told you we'd give Brian a bit to catch his breath.
Yes, indeed. Had to let him breathe just a little, Justin. Brian Bennett putting this team on his back. Jabari mentioned he feels like you're playing with so much more confidence this week than last week. How are you feeling?
I feel settled in back there. My lines, again, they're doing a great job. I'm telling them after every play, you guys keep blocking like that, we're going to keep moving the ball. Divine's getting the ball, making big plays. We're keeping ourselves kind of balanced, you know. So it's fun out there.
Well, we're enjoying watching. Best of luck the rest of the game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Justin, Jabari.
Thank you. 2 touchdown runs for Brian Bennett. As 3rd and 2 is coming up, less than a minute to go here in this 3rd quarter. Johnson, the handoff to Taylor, and Taylor's going to get wrapped up in the backfield.
Levance Taylor.
It's going to be a loss of 1. 4th down coming up. Greg Lloyd is the one who made the tackle in the backfield, so 4th and 3. And Mike Sherman is saying, no way are we punting, we're going for it. But they're not gonna get this play off in time before the 4th quarter starts. 7 seconds to go. The leaderboard right now, Ryan T has a nearly 20-point lead as we're gonna head to the 4th quarter. That's $5,000 at stake right now.
Well, yeah, so leading up to the 4th quarter, great defensive play by the Power. But more importantly, we see Brian Bennett taking the team on his back, being comfortable running the ball, throwing the ball. He looks like a totally different player. It looks like the Power are firing on all cylinders. How is the Grit going to respond?
Well, you can send us your comments, hashtag YourCallFootball, hashtag YCF, and hashtag CallThePlays. 4th quarter coming up. This is one of the tweets from @TotGrillmaster. My @YourCallFootball first half update started really slow and was in the 900s for a while, but I've battled to 148, still a while to go before I'm up to my 32 from last week. Doing it for tailgaters everywhere. Well, keep it going because, again, it's not just this game. It's next game, too. It's the 3 games combined, and then you're going to have a grand champion worth $10,000. It's 4th down and 3 here for Team Grit. They need a first down here. They need something positive to start the 4th quarter.
So, yeah, usually on these plays, they've been playing man-to-man, man-to-man press. So I think that with some quick outs, some hitches, let's see what the offense calls. They call it that snag basic. I think that's a great play, and it's a coach pick.
4th and 3, empty backfield here for Johnson. 5 receivers in. Johnson. The pass is complete. Bobbled by Sebastian Smith.
Great call by the fans. Great call by the coach. Sebastian Smith has to know where that first down marker is. Caught it at the marker. Ran back.
But I think there was actually the bobble at the marker, and when he finally had possession, that's when he goes back and he comes up shy of that first down marker. Aaron Taylor was there to make the tackle.
A wide receiver coach will always tell you, Justin, make sure that you're 1 or 2 yards across the marker. So if something like that happens, you don't put yourself in the wrong position. So no matter what happened, no matter if he did bobble the ball, you should have been 2 yards past the marker in the first place.
So it's a turnover on downs, and now it's Team Power taking over at the 44-yard line of Team Grit. And also, you mentioned how go 1 or 2 yards beyond the marker. You always hear catch the ball, then run.
And then run. Yes, yes. He got a little bit before his britches on that one, man. You have to be able to do that because you gave Brian Bennett another opportunity to do this.
Down the sideline to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Tommy Streeter. There in the coverage with C.J. Roberts.
That was a great coverage by C.J. Roberts. He had a step. Streeter had a step on him. Throws it deep. But he goes up, climbs the ladder, and knocks the ball away in the last second.
And I like that play call by the fans too, because
that was a great play.
Take a shot. You're already up 14-0. Take a chance.
I mean, because the truth is that the Grit, they're down. I mean, physically and emotionally, they're worn out. The defense has been on the field. There's been no type of consistency for their offense. So, yeah, that was a great play call to take the shot. Maybe the quarterback just throws a little bit more. Give a little bit, lead the receiver just a little bit more, and that might have been a touchdown.
The fans want the the read option with JoJo Kemp in the backfield. And it's kept again by Bennett. Bennett trying to bounce it outside. He does. And now he gets forced down after a pickup of 7. C.J. Roberts, who made the play defensively against Tommy Streeter, is able to get Bennett out of bounds. And you got to think Brian Bennett has got to be tired. He's going to sleep well tonight.
Well, he is, and by far he is the team's leading rusher. Being able to get those outside runs, has created so much opportunity, not only for Brian Bennett, but for the power offense.
I'm going to say this, at 3rd and 3 at the 37, I almost think because of 2 blocked field goal attempts, this is 2-down territory right now for Team Power.
You think?
It's worked for us.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Listen, I'm right with you. I think it's obvious. No, I would not put that field goal kicker back on the field. Yeah, I think that's obvious.
On 3rd and 3, the handoffs to Kemp. Kemp tries to reverse course, and he is going to get wrapped up by Leroy Alexander, going to lose some yards.
No coach loves when a running back bounces outside. JoJo Kemp, take the football, go up the field, get your team the yardage that they need. So instead of getting 1, you lose a yard. You lose 3 yards. That does nothing but infuriate a coach. And also, now the fans are playing, now the fans are losing points, it infuriates fans as well.
I can only think of one running back in my history of watching football where a coach would say, I don't mind him reversing course and bouncing outside.
Barry Sanders.
Correct.
Of course.
Yeah, no.
Barry was the guy.
Of course, JoJo Kemp is wearing the number of Barry Sanders, but that's about it.
Yes, it doesn't happen by osmosis.
4th and 6. Bennett on the slant completes the pass to Gavin Lutman. Lutman, the possession receiver, gets the first down.
We talked about Gavin Lutman a lot during the scrimmage. He was a great possession receiver. You see him with the slant inside. Finally gets some action on Your Call Football during this game. Create some opportunity. Gavin Lutman comes from D2 Pittsburgh State, playing with my punter, Brian Moorman. D2 Pittsburgh State has some athletes coming out of there, and Gavin Lutman shows why he is a big player for their team.
So now it's 1st and 10 from the 28, 14-0 Power leading, and this is extending the drive and taking more time off the clock. The fans want a read option. They get the read option. It's Bennett again. Look at the spin move. He just pressed the X button. Woo!
Brian Bennett on another read option with his C4.
An 8-yard run right there by Bennett, and that was whoop.
So that was a missed tackle by DJ Cameron, but more than anything, that was a missed tackle by everybody. I would have missed that tackle. Man, the way that he spun out of that was impressive. That was more than what you would expect a quarterback to make. This guy is playing at MVP level today. And with that play right there, you can just see he's having fun. You know, Jen, take him off and interview him right now in the middle of this series.
66 yards on the ground for Brian Bennett in the game, 120 yards passing. Kendall Lawrence in motion. JoJo Kemp takes the toss. And Kemp trying to get that forward progress. He will not get enough. Gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. Will Smith, not the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the different Will Smith, makes the stop.
Justin, I think that this defense is primed for a play-action pass. With the way that Brian Bennett is throwing the football, and they're not even giving him the option. I mean, the way that Brian Bennett is running this football, you got to be able to get the defense off their center. A play-action pass would be great.
I'm almost thinking, as you saw the play bundle that was put in by Merrill Hodge, I'm almost wondering if he's saying the defense is tired. Let's get the clock, continue it to roll. We've got a 14-0 lead. He wants to win.
Yeah, and that's understandable. That's understandable.
And it's an inside gap strong run that both Merrill Hodge and the fans want. Kemp, a couple of nice cuts, and Kemp will get the first down.
That's
As he
JoJo
takes it up to the 16 to get 4 yards. Quentin Bradley with the tackle. That clock continues to run.
Ball's going to be spotted on the 16-yard line.
So JoJo Kemp bounces it outside, gets those 3 yards to be able to create some points for the fans. But finally, we see him getting up the field, not taking it outside, doing what he needs to do to continue to run the clock and give his offense an opportunity to score.
And checking the leaderboard, Ryan T, almost a 20-point lead. 51% of the fans want crossers on this one.
Be ready to go in, okay?
Bennett steps up nicely, dumps it off to Kemp, who juggles it, incomplete. Another drop ball right there.
So we talked about this before. JoJo Kemp, this is his second drop. But more than anything, it stops the momentum that they have. That was a great scramble by Brian Bennett. You have to have your eyes. You have to catch the ball before you have your eyes up the field. JoJo Kemp, we need you. The fans need you. The team needs you to make plays like that.
We got it. We got it.
Second down and 10 from the 16 coming up.
We got Dixie in there.
The fans want to keep it in the hands of Brian Bennett. Bennett looking for a hole, and Bennett doing a nice job. Gets up to the 14-yard line.
Bennett keeps the ball. Goes forward 3 yards.
Great tackle by Quentin Bradley. And Justin, I would beg to say that Brian Bennett is tired right now.
You think?
He's tired right now. And he's played a great game. But we have to, the fans, you have to be able to do something to get the ball out of your quarterback's hands.
So here's one thing that Merrill Hodge said to us, and I thought was a great point. This is Madden meets real life. But in Madden, players don't get tired. You can go back to them over and over and over again. In real life, these players get tired.
One down.
So when you're trying to call a play, you can't go back to that well too often if that guy has been doing it all.
Of course, and you have at such a critical position like the quarterback position, getting banged up, getting hit by these defensive linemen, you need him to be fresh.
Bennett lofting one to the end zone. We've got a lot of contact, and there's the flag. Tommy Streeter, the intended receiver, Will Hines there on the coverage, and Will Hines was just shoving him out of bounds.
Yeah, there was a lot of extracurricular activity on the left corner. And being a former defensive back.
Defense, number 29. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
Being a former defensive back, I never want to call it before the official calls it. So that was some, yeah, you got to get your head around. You got to get your head around and make that play. Will Hines had no attempt in going for that football. That is a defensive pass interference. You got to be confident, buddy. Get your head around, make that play.
It's going to be first and goal from the 4. .5:13 to go. I think Brian Bennett's going, not a run, not a run, please not a run.
Do you think it's going to be a quarterback dive? Is it going to be in the package?
My defense, let's go.
It's an inside gap strong run. Divine Redding in the backfield from the 4. Redding bouncing, Redding to the end zone, touchdown.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Divine Redding. It's the third rushing touchdown of the game for Team Power. The first for Redding, the first 2 by Brian Bennett.
That was a great run by Divine Redding. We talked about how they had a down safety, but he takes it to one side, goes across the field. When you have 6 defenders and 5 blockers, you have an extra defender to make that play. But Divine Redding saw the gap, hit the hole with the vision, and beat that extra defender. You cannot underestimate the way that he is running the football, because he is beating an extra defender by himself.
He gets a picture taken. He'll get an interview coming up in just a minute. Divine Redding, 6 carries, 39 yards, a touchdown. Now the 2-point conversion here to try to make it 22-0. Bennett. And this time it's picked off in the end zone by B.T. Sanders. And Sanders trying to return it. Sanders across the field. And Sanders will finally be brought down as he crosses the 45. But really, that means nothing. So it's 20-0. Power leading Grits with 5:07 to go.
Well, Justin, that does mean something. That means that if you picked against the grain, you got 3 points on that one.
Media timeout.
But more than anything, BT Sanders, he's been a player for this Grit defense. He was in zone. Great play.
Let's go down to Jen Hale.
Thanks, Justin. Here with Divine Redding. Congratulations. What a fantastic run. What's working so well for this team? Total domination by Power this game.
I mean, we just, practice as a team, practice as a fan. We have fun at practice. And the big guys up front, they're doing it all. And we can't do it without them. So fans keep calling them good plays, and we're going to execute them for y'all.
Are you having fun with this whole fan interaction aspect and having them call the plays? How different is it for you?
It's real fun. It's really unpredictable, and that's what I kind of like about it. Get the fans a different perspective, on what the pros go through, and even in college. So I like it a lot.
Well, and obviously you're having success. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Justin Jabari?
You think he's winded?
And he deserves it.
But it's cool because these guys are having fun. Obviously, you have more fun when you're winning, right? And right now you're winning 20-0, a chance to go 2-0 in this series. However, to give the interview right away, it's neat. It's cool. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's another dimension for the fan and player interaction. I mean, I remember when I was playing, you would always have to wait to the post game to be able to get your face shown, to be able to interact with some of the media players. But now it's immediate. Now you get to thank the fans for calling your number as soon as it happens. So that's incredible.
The fans, they want a pass, a smash through concept, empty backfield here for Gerard Johnson. Johnson swings it out to Williams. Daniel Williams, a good run after the catch will get the first down. Well, we would like to say a special thank you to Adidas, the uniform and apparel partner of Your Call Football, for outfitting the players, coaches, staff, and even us, the announcers, here in historic Dodgertown. Adidas, here to create. With 4:40 to go, that was an 11-yard completion. If you're playing right now at home, you're sitting here going, okay, what's going on? Ryan T with about a 12-point advantage now over A.J. Mack 11, and that advantage would pay out $5,000. Lots at stake. Low snap. Johnson buys himself some time. High throw to the sideline. Incomplete to Daniel Williams.
And this is just a microcosm of what's been going wrong with the Grit offense. Bad snap, bad protection. You really got to get Gerard Johnson comfortable. He hasn't been comfortable all game, and that snap did nothing for his ability to set his feet. Gerard Johnson's having a tough game, but if you have snaps like that, there's no way that you can come back for that during that play. Not the way that they're playing the offense right now.
The only benefit is it stops the clock. That's it.
That's the only good thing.
Yeah, the incomplete pass stops the clock. The fans agree with Coach Sherman here on this one. On 2nd down and 10, a high snap this time for Johnson. Able to handle it, throws it near side. That's incomplete. Robert Meacham was out of bounds.
Bring up 3rd and 10.
So low snap the first time, high snap this time. Gerard Johnson is doing his best. That was a great throw under the circumstance, but you got to get that ball to him.
Robert Meacham's got to know where he is as well.
Exactly, yeah, so we haven't heard Robert Meacham's name that much today. But the truth is that we talked about it before, the secondary for the Power is the strongest secondary on the field between the two teams. These guys can play, and they're not getting Gerard Johnson that much of a look down the field.
And let's not forget, KJ May is not here with Team Grit.
KJ May was the dynamic receiver the last game. He was a security blanket for Gerard Johnson, as well as KD Humphreys. He's gone looking for greener pastures, and now they have to figure out what they're going to do without him.
Johnson will dump it off, and it's a drop ball by Khalid Abdullah. So 4th and 10 coming up.
Johnson passes.
You got to go for it, trailing 20 to nothing.
Bring up 4th and 10.
There was not the option to punt from Mike Sherman.
And Gerard Johnson is looking like, I don't know what you want me to do, coach. I'm trying my best, but they're not catching. They're not blocking. What can I do?
%61% of the fans want the Crossers. Johnson trying to buy himself some time, throws high. And I believe they say it's incomplete. It is incomplete to Daniel Williams. And that'll be a turnover on downs.
Once again, Willie Mays coming off the edge. He's been wrecking havoc all game, getting Gerard Johnson out the pocket. And that was a great attempt by Daniel Williams. Get the ball down a little bit more, but Gerard Johnson just isn't comfortable in that pocket over the last couple series.
Well, don't forget, ask a question of coaches or players in the postgame press conference on Facebook Live using hashtag YCF Postgame.
And Justin, while we have an opportunity, I did want to give a shout out to one of my best friends in the world, Mikal Antoine Caesar. He's watching right now from Sacramento, California, going through a serious illness. I wanted to let him know while we're on air how much we and I love him more than anything. And not only we at Your Call Football, but the whole family. We're here to support you, brother.
Absolutely. Keep fighting. It's 1st and 10 from the 46. Bennett throwing over the middle, and that's incomplete. Dropped by Chuck Jacobs. And that was, I'm not going to say that's a drop ball because that's a difficult pass to handle as he goes up and leaves his body exposed for a defender.
That was a difficult ball to catch. It was a great play by J.K.S. Bryant to make sure that he didn't come down with it. And we talked about Chuck Jacobs, man. Mr. Seattle, what Mayor Hodges calls him. He's a guy that he wants to have success. He is a guy that had stayed after last week when the receivers for the Power didn't do very well, and he wanted to know what he could do to help his team succeed. So him and Mayor Hodge, they watched film, they caught balls after practice. Chuck Jacobs is a leader in that receiving room, and it was great to see him have the ball for a little bit, but he got to hold on to that thing.
He came up hobbling here. It's Bennett keeping it, and Bennett dancing around, diving forward, and he'll get a yard. And that keeps the clock rolling, under 3.5 to go here.
Let's do A1. Let's go A1. And let's go Cat Harry again.
Merrill Hodge trying to go 2-0.
I just want it one time. I've called it 18 times. And I'm not going to one call. You got Red. You got Bull. Where's Tom?
Under 3 left to go here in this 4th quarter. Ryan T's lead is dwindling. Now, not even 4 points over Todd N. Oh boy, it's coming down again.
They got the double outs right here. Looks like the defense is in cover 3 with the down safety. It'll be a great call.
Bennett towards the sideline, completes this pass. Ryan Timmons is the receiver, and he has enough for the first down.
When you have that cover 3 and these quarterbacks are playing 7-8 yards off, Brian Bennett steps up in the pocket and takes what the defense is giving him. That was a great call, understanding the situation by the fans, and then committing to the pass, and the receiver, of course, catching the football.
Power has taken a timeout here to give their team a breather with 2:28 to go. So a quick check of the leaderboard and how did that play impact it. It is within 3 for first place between Ryan T and Todd N. Todd N has 0.3 of a lead over B. Tom's 41. for second place. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Again, the payouts for the game, $5,000 for first place, $2,500 for second, $1,000 for third. This is legitimate money. It's coming down to the wire for the second straight week. Last week, it was a 1-point difference.
And isn't that incredible? Because the game is, you know, for all intents and purposes, out of hand. But this leaderboard is more exciting than anything that's going on the field.
Team Grit, not Team Power. They have one timeout remaining.
All right, so the previous timeout was actually against Team Grit, not against Team Power. So one timeout remaining for Team Grit. That was Team Grit stopping the clock. The fans want to keep that clock rolling. They want to run. The handoff to Redding. Little shake and bake. Redding cuts it back in, and Redding gets down inbounds. That is a veteran move right there by Divine Redding. He's got the first down. He could have tried to cut it outside, but instead he tried to cut it back inside.
Great run by Divine Redding. Started front side, bounces out backside, and then stays in inbounds. Like you said before, Divine Redding is a NFL quality running back. The way that his vision is, the way that he shows me, he reminds me of a Chris Ivory or a Kyrie Robinson or even a bigger Alvin Kamara. This guy is hard to tackle. He has great vision and can catch out of the backfield. It is a wonder why he isn't doing that for an NFL team now.
That went for 20 yards for Divine Redding. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 13. Bennett, the handoff to Redding again. He just slips and goes down. Just lost his footing. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage.
And I'm glad that he's getting up right now. We've seen many times how that happened.
Timeout. Team Grit. Their second and final
taken here by Team Grit. The second and
30
final timeout. It is a 2.5-point difference for first place between Ryan T. and Todd N. for $5,000. Don't forget, coming up on the post game, we'll have an interview with the coaches, actually with the player. And then, of course, we'll have the post-game press conference on Facebook Live. You can send in your question, hashtag YCF postgame. That's all coming up after this one. Mike Sherman, I'm going to guess he's not going to be happy with how his team has performed in this one. But smiles.
All smiles.
For B.J. Daniels and Merrill Hodge.
And all the guys in the backfield, in the background, too. They've played a hard-nosed and effective game. It's been impressive to see how the Power has consistently taken what the defense has given them. Because you got to keep in mind, B.J. Daniels was the guy that we thought was going to lead them. But the way that Brian Bennett is playing, I mean, we got to wonder if B.J. Daniels is going to get back on the field.
And you say they're taking what the defense is giving them, and I would almost say that they're running the plays the fans are calling, and they're just doing a good job.
You know what? I should have been up.
Again, it's Redding. No more timeouts remaining here for Team Grit. They can't stop the clock, as this will bring it well under a minute. And so what does that mean? We're going to check the leaderboard here. There's going to be one more play, I think, run.
Still a chance to finish out the game strong, fans. There's some good play calling here.
Do you use a run to run out the clock?
Team Power not.
But even if you do use a run and it creates
points.
3 or 4 yards, yeah, you can create points.
Think about it. You can still get a touchdown here. I mean, it's a 1.5-point lead for Ryan T. over B. Tom's 41 at 214.6 to 213.1. Todd N. is at 212.1, so he's behind by just 1 point. Strategy comes in. Do you go with the majority? Do you go against the grain? Do you hope for a negative play? What is it? This way, you can actually win. 9 seconds to go. Bennett, he'll hand off to Redding. Redding is going to get positive yards up to the 5, and that is going to end the game as Pierre G. Tucker makes the stop to end it. So no touchdown.
Thank the Lord for that.
But
amen.
Good job, brother.
I think this just happened. B. Tom's 41 with that play just overtook Ryan T for first place.
1 point.
And he just won $5,000 pending verification. How about that?
Listen, the game was out of hand at the beginning of the fourth quarter. We knew that they weren't going to get back. But the way that they ended off the leaderboard, B. Tom's 41 and Ryan T took it to the edge. This is what makes your call different, because even though the game's out of hand, the leaderboard, that money, that big-time rent money we talk about, Justin, was still up for grabs.
All right, let's go downstairs to Jen Hale, who's joined by the winning head coach.
Thanks, Justin. Merrill Hodge, congratulations, triumphing again. Brian Bennett, my goodness, he seemed to do it all for your team tonight. What's allowing him to have such success?
You know what, listen, Brian responded this week because I asked him, you know, both guys to compete. And really both Tommy and Brian did a great job of competing all week. And he played his tail off. But I'll tell you this, our offensive line, I mean, again, they steal the show. I mean, I think Divine probably had over 100 yards rushing, so that's the first time in York Hall football history that we had a back over 100 yards. But he ran well. I mean, it was just, I couldn't get a Harry called, though. So here's my new approach. I don't want you to ever call a Harry again. Every time I call Harry, don't call that. And then maybe they'll call it. But listen, I'm proud of them. Our defense, they keep playing well, man. Anytime you don't give up points, that's impressive. It's easy to play offense when you got a defense like we have.
Certainly complimentary football helps. All right, you mentioned Harry. For fans who don't know what you're talking about, you're kind of helping guide them on what calls to make, and you're not getting some of the ones you really want.
I'm not. You know, early on we talked about the Harry play. If you called Harry 1 and 2 and we got a few of those completed, there's Harry 3 in there, which is a touchdown play. But you got to get Harry 1 and Harry 2 called before you can get to Harry 3. And we couldn't even get Harry 1 called tonight. So I'm going to have to find a different strategy, because we got it in the books. They didn't see it tonight, so hopefully next week get a few Harrys called early and a Harry 3 late, and 7 points will be on the board.
Well, not to point out the obvious, but the fans were successful. You won this game 20-0. What do you focus on this week ahead?
You know, actually just cleaning up a few things, to be honest with you. I mean, as a whole, we got to clean up a few things, and we'll add a few things. And we're going to keep working on the Harry. So if they want to call it, go ahead and call it.
Hopefully we'll get to see it next week, Coach. Enjoy this one.
Thanks, Jen. I appreciate it.
Justin Jabari.
Thank you very much, Jen. Back up here in the booth, and a 20-0 victory for Power over Grit. So Power is 2-0 in this series. You know what's crazy is a 20-0 game, you think it's not exciting. But because of that leaderboard, because of the money at stake, it came down to the wire. And that final play, there was a change in the leaderboard.
Yes, and I could only imagine how the players felt. The fans, they were actually going through that. B. Tom's 41 and the other competitor. But we up here at the booth, we were just as excited for you. That's a lot of money. And this was a great football game on both sides. You know, you had Brian Bennett really step up, because Tommy Armstrong actually was doing very well. But the thing is, you had Brian Bennett. He came in, he played good football, great defensive football by the Power. It was a great way to make it happen.
All right, let's go back down to Jen Hale.
Justin, here now with Grit head coach Mike Sherman. Not the outcome you wanted, Coach. Talk to me a little bit about what you can tweak this week with your players to be more successful next outing.
Yeah, I just thought we were very inconsistent. We didn't run the ball very well. They had a safety in the hole that made the tackle almost every single time. Protection was a little shaky. Our snaps weren't good. And we just got to play better. We got to play better next week. I take my hat off to Power. They really played a very good ball game. It was tough to corral those quarterbacks on that read option. They kept the chains moving and then made some nice throws along the way. So hats off to Power again, and Grit's back to the drawing board this next week, and hopefully we'll come back on Thursday of next week with a better performance than we had tonight.
Is there something fans can do calling plays to help you out? Is there something you wish would have been called more or perhaps less tonight?
Well, they basically played a middle safety zone defense on first and second down. On third down, they played a middle safety man defense until the latter downs, and it was middle safety zone again. It was very basic, and so there's certain calls that help. It's tough to run the ball because they have an extra player in the box. But the out-breaking routes, the in-breaking routes, the rhythm routes, they're all good, and we just didn't execute. So fans didn't call bad plays. We just didn't execute very well. We got to do a better job of coaching, and we'll be ready next week.
I'm sure it'll be a different story. Have a great week, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Justin Jabari.
All right, Jen. Well, it was a different story in this game because we talked about it. Brian Bennett, he is our Adidas Impact Player of the Game. He really took over the game when he came in that second quarter.
He did. Like we said before, Tommy Armstrong didn't do very bad, but when Brian Bennett came in, he just created a different dynamic with the way that he was able to take those quarterback dives and make it happen. I think that he was playing more confident than anything, setting his feet, getting the ball to his receivers, Tommy Streeter, getting the ball to Divine Redding. He was playing a different type of football, and then the play that was something of beauty with the Madden spin move. It showed that he was not only playing confident, but he was having fun. He was a different quarterback than we have ever seen him play. But if he can continue to play like this, he might be in somebody's minicamp next week.
Well, Brian Bennett, the Adidas Impact Player of the Game, and for that, he gets to be interviewed by Jen Hale.
Now, Justin, he might be sick of me by this point. I'm not sure. Brian, my goodness, you dominated this game in every facet. What is working so well for you personally? You talked to us in game about how much your O-line was helping you out and the coaching staff, but let's talk about you. How are you having such success?
You know, I just try and, you know, it starts early in the week with practice. Try and just take it one day at a time, really. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but you really do have to kind of just break it down, and I feel like I've come up with a good schedule with what I do during the week and just trying to stay disciplined to that. And, you know, then, you know, you put in the work and the rest is in God's hands, really. So I feel like I've got a good routine going, and it worked.
It certainly did, my goodness. Now, you're no stranger to playing lots of different positions. You actually played linebacker for a while early in your career?
Back in the high school days, It's funny, some of those coaches, last year I was coaching with them, and they're still like, I think you still would have been a defensive guy. And, you know, but we're still keeping the quarterback thing alive, so it's been fun.
Yeah, I don't think Merrill Hodge will be changing you to the other side of the ball anytime soon. Have a great week, and thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Justin Jabari.
All right, thank you very much, Jen. Well, this is how Game 2 finishes off. B-Toms 41 at 215.6 takes home $5,000 pending verification, of course. Ryan T gets $2,500. Todd N gets $1,000. Now, again, we talked about the importance of continuing to play. Why? Because there is a 3-game cumulative score. And remember Ashley 9G, how she won the first game? Well, she is in 3rd place right now for the overall lead, and the overall winner takes home $10,000. The 2nd place winner takes home $5,000, and the 3rd place winner takes home takes home $2,500 for the overall prize money. And Bob Iva is right now in the lead. But that will do it for Game 2 here in Your Call Football. It is a 20-0 victory for Team Power over Team Grit. So Team Power has already won the series. They won last week 20-12. They win this week 20-0. Don't forget, the final Your Call Football game is next Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. from right here in historic Dodgertown. Download the app. Play along with us. There's money to be had. We'll see you next Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.